What is up, my friends? Sweet relief, 3 points, ladies and gents. We will take that. A clean sheet down in London, 3 points against West Ham. Hopefully this is the start of things starting to turn around. I'm not going to get carried away. The opposition needs to be taken into account, but it is 3 points, 2 goals, a clean sheet. It is definitely a step in the right direction. There is lots to talk about today, and lots to talk about from a positive sense. We're going to give lots of love to Joe Gomez. We're going to talk about Wirtz arriving, Isak getting off the mark in the Premier League, Cody Gakpo chipping in with a goal at the end. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about our defensive solidity. We'll talk about what that means going forward. And of course, we want you guys to let us know your thoughts. The Man of the Match poll is up there now. So if you haven't had a chance, please do give us your vote. The 4 options you have today for the Anfield Agenda Man of the Match are as follows: Joe Gomez, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz, and Alexander Isak. We'll also be asking you to submit your player ratings. If you haven't, make sure that you are part of the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community. Just scan the QR code there on the screen. That will bring you to the WhatsApp, where you will see a link in there to submit your player ratings. Really do appreciate your support. We're heading towards 16,000 people in the WhatsApp already. To those that are already in there, thank you. Right, let's get cracking, folks. Lots to go through. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Right, where are we at with this one? There we go. First one in. The win is important, don't get me wrong, but that performance was still far from great. We're scraping wins against lower level teams. We need to dominate these teams. Look, I do agree, and I'm not getting carried away, but I am just happy for a win. It's the start. There's a long road ahead, a lot of hard work still to do, and I by no means think we're back. But a win is a win, man. And I'd said before the game, I'll have taken any win, and I will. A clean sheet can't be sniffed at either. If you do that, if you can keep some clean sheets, I'll always back us to find a way to score a goal or two. So yeah, delighted about that one. Do you think Paqueta had a bet on, said Kyle Wilson? I don't understand what he was doing. It was just so stupid, Kyle. Like, so stupid. No idea why he talked himself into first the yellow and then the red. Both of them for just being lippy to the ref. If I'm a West Ham fan, I'm absolutely fuming at that. Ant the Guru said, Craig, can we just appreciate Gomez? Him and Dom linked up. We're so damn good. I hope we see him start next game. Joe Gomez was brilliant today. He was brilliant. The energy of Joe getting up and down that right wing today was top notch. And look, we looked more solid today. I don't know the reason for that. I'm not saying it's because Salah didn't play. I'm not saying it's because, well, it is partly because Joe Gomez at right back. That I will say. But look, either way, whatever reason, it looked a little bit better. A little bit. We're not there. There's a long way to go. But let me say a few things that I want to get off my chest. If you watch that game today and you don't think Florian Wirtz is going to become a very good player in this team, I don't know what to say. Today was far better. He was linking up play. He was popping a ball over the park. Isak found his goal. How many times about Salah over the years have we said, might not be in the game as much as we want, but a chance falls, he takes it, we go and we win. That's kind of where I'm at with Isak today. Wasn't his brilliant best, but tell me that wasn't a top-class striker's finish. Cody Gakpo with a goal and an assist today. Pulls it back, and Isak just cushions it into the corner past Areola. Fantastic finish. And then we go and kill the game off. Exactly what we would have wanted. So I will take it, but it is just the start of the building blocks from this point. Sahayuma said, are the new players starting to gel? I hope so. Look, he's been a bit unfortunate as well with some niggling injuries and stuff like that. Today, having Wirtz playing from the start was a real pleasant surprise to me. I didn't think he was going to be available from the start. Look, we'd all like to see more of Ekitike and more of Isak together. But look, whatever happens, we now go into Wednesday, a bit of confidence. I'm sure he'll bring Mo back in on Wednesday and maybe rest somebody else. But whatever happens, I think we're in an agreement. Joe has to play at right back. It just gave us such a better base to build from with Joe Gomez at right back. And it's testament to him because we played against Southampton and he didn't look great. But he came on today from the start and he just looked like he was very switched on. Our 2 centre-backs, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate, both of them looked far more like the gentleman that we've gotten accustomed to seeing over the years. So credit to them as well. Yeah, it's just good. I'm just happy. And again, we'll take it with a pinch of salt, but I'm just very happy and very relieved that we're on here now talking about a victory. Right, let's run through some of the numbers. Possession-wise, 56% for the Reds, 44% for West Ham. West Ham did not have a single shot on target. Not one in the whole game. That is fantastic from our perspective. They had 7 shots, none on target. 9 shots for us, 5 on target. Isn't that far better than 27 shots, 3 or 4 on target? More than half our shots today on target, and we got ourselves 2 goals. Dangerous attacks, they had more than us, but we made ours count, so we'll take that. Total passes, 510 for Liverpool with an 87% accuracy. 376 for West Ham with an 81% accuracy. So yeah, just enjoy it, my friends. Enjoy it. We've earned this win, and we've been waiting for it. I bet the Irish guy is so happy to see Isak score his first Premier League goal for Liverpool. I'm relieved, man. Just relieved for him more than anything. Played as a team, attacked together, defended together, said Blizzard. I would agree with that. Look, like I said, I'm not getting carried away. But you're supposed to be happy when your team wins. So let's be happy. I don't know what was going on at the end of the game, by the way. Did anybody else notice the sheer amount of trolling that came in for the last 10 minutes? Like, just hate personified. That was not our community. That is not our people. Whoever they were can do one. That's why I was so sarky towards them. Yeah, they can feck right off. This game showed that we're not dependent on Salah. Even with Gomez at right back, we created good chances on that side. And we saw Wirtz, Szoboszlai and Isak playing better. Thank you, Matthew. Slot still needs to go, just not good enough. I hear Zidane is interested in the Liverpool job. No, he's not. He's interested in the French job, which he'll probably take after the World Cup. That, not me being mean or anything, that's genuinely what we're hearing. This one from Stuart said, Joe made us look solid today and Wirtz was class. Look, for me, if the players work for the manager and play, I'll always back that we'd have the class. But we just look like we down tools in some of the recent games. Now, it will be interesting to see what happens if we do go a goal behind in the next few games. It'll be interesting to see the response from the players. But look, baby steps. If I asked you guys, would you take a 2-0 win before the game, I dare say most of us would have taken it. Salah be gone to the AFCON. Had a feeling it would be better today without him, and hopefully from now on. Another win without Salah starts, said Mark. We're more balanced without Mo today, said John Power. He played West Ham. Most teams are beating them. And? What's your point, Keith? We played Nottingham Forest, who were 19th. Most teams are beating them, and we're beating 3-0. So, you get it. You don't like Liverpool. Cool, no problem. But I'm not never going to be happy when we win a game of football, bro. So, whoever you support or whatever you do, crack on, you be you. But I'm a Liverpool fan who's been seeing the back of a horrendous run and we've just won. And I'm going to be happy about that. Christian said, hey Craig, hope you're well and the family as well. Great win today, really needed it. We did, man. We absolutely needed it. And hopefully we can now take this little bit of momentum into Wednesday's game against Sunderland and hopefully get 3 points there as well. Thomas, how are we, my man? Said, really happy for Joe and Isak. Agree. I'm the same. I think Joe got himself an assist, if I'm not mistaken. So Cody ends the day with a goal and an assist. Joe gets himself an assist. And Isak played very, very well. I'm happy. Kyle, thank you, my man. I'm about to say, I wish Wirtz pulled that one back to Isak when he scored. Look, we all want Flo to get that assist, but look, today he's probably been unlucky not to get one or two. I thought he was brilliant today. Let's see who your man of the match shouts are so far, by the way. We've had over 4,000 votes so far. Your options for the Anfield Agenda man of the match are Joe Gomez, Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexander Isak. It's kind of a 2-horse race at the minute, but do vote if you haven't so far. Still need a Joe Gomez goal. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that. There's no way. Joe has to score before we leave Liverpool. He has to. 100% our game. If we didn't win, Slot would have been sacked. Exactly. Look at this. 420 million spent playing bottom of the table teams. Struggle to break them down. Slot won't win another trophy. Awful coach. Are you neglecting the part we sold, though? Like, you're not wrong about the money we spent. But we also recouped a lot of money. We had a net spend less than Arsenal. So let's not forget that. Struggled to break them down, did we? I must have missed the part where we struggled to break them down then. I thought we absolutely pulled them all over the pitch. You just say, I don't like Liverpool and I don't want to give them any credit, and fuck off back to whatever you're doing for the rest of your day. It's hilarious. I'll lap this up all day, bro. You throw all this negativity at us Liverpool fans and I'll sit here and smile back at you because we won. And I don't give a rat's ass how we won. We won and we kept a clean sheet. And this beaming, beautiful, bald smile is going to be here all day. Can we please give Robbo his flowers? Robbo? I know he was on at the end of the game, but I mean, look, Robbo's been very well this season. Very good, this season. Look, I thought everybody did a shift today. I agree, by the way, on the... I know we got a goal and an assist today, but I do understand where people are coming from with regards to him looking a little bit off at times. But look, again, a win is a win is a win is a win. I'd rather get this win than talk about a good performance and a plucky draw or something. We won, and I'm going to be happy about that, and so should you. But look, I love Robbo, Kyle. I love him. Gakpo celebration said a lot about how they feel. I'm sure relieved. Yeah. So, Arne Slot speaking a little bit here about Joe Gomez starting. He said, first of all, we conceded far too many recently. That's not because of the right back position. We did this one earlier on, actually. Yeah, sorry, I'd read that one out earlier on. This comment here from Isak, one win doesn't mean we're back. We have to stay focused and work hard to keep building momentum. Absolutely agree with that. Ironic that the lads that we criticised scores in the second half. I don't know. You must be new to the channel, mate. The way this channel works is when we criticise somebody, they score. Especially when I do it. I don't know why. I've done it so many times over the years. I've said X or Y hasn't done enough, and then they just go and score. So you're welcome. But yeah, I get your point. Looked like Gakpo was told to stay slightly narrower to give Kirkes license to get up and down. Kirkes looked much better. I agree with that. Paqueta's head loss. It's so silly, Harry's. So silly, mate. But if I'm a West Ham fan, I'd be fuming at him for that. Gakpo goal and assist and not man of the match candidate. Yes. And I think that's fair. I don't know if others disagree. But I don't think Cody Gakpo deserves to be in the man of the match poll. He got a goal and an assist, but his all-around play wasn't as good as the other players. And we're not five, like. We don't just go off goals. We're not one of these channels that just said, oh, he scored, let's give him man of the match. There is actually a method to the way we put forward players for player ratings, or for man of the match polls. It's usually based off average scores. But personally, look, I don't think he should be in the man of the match poll, but I respect you might think differently, my man. That's no problem, Luke. We're still alive for a double. Let's go. I love the optimism, Arthur. I love the optimism. As Connor has said as well, Gakpo wasn't in the top 4 in the average player ratings either so far. Christian said, do you think both Ekitike and Isak should start? Yeah, I do. I'd love us to find some way to play both of them up top with Wirtz in the pocket behind. I know that involves losing a bit of width somewhere, and you're probably reliant on your fullbacks to provide that. But I do think ultimately, especially with how much of a handful Ekitike is off the ball, I think he could find a way to make some space for Isak. And we've seen today with Isak again, it reminded me very much about so many Mohamed Salah games we've had over the years, where we might be saying, God, Mo hasn't found a way to get into this game, and then bang, pops up goal. And that's a difference. So Isak might not be somebody who is involved for 85 of the 90 minutes, but if he can find that space to grab a goal like that, like Mo has done many times, I'll take that. I won't trust this team until we beat Sunderland. Look, I get it. I'm by no means sitting here smug, thinking we've turned the corner. But let's enjoy the small wins when we get them, because it's been a while since we've come on here and had the ability to be happy. But you're right. It's one step, but there's still a lot of steps still to go. Roshi said, chuffed about the win, not changed my mind about Slot leaving, but glad he finally adjusted. Nice seeing players play to their strengths. Vert's man of the match. So the real test, Roshi, for me now, for Arna, is what he does moving forward. What he does going forward. Does he immediately revert back now? And are we going to see a team on Wednesday that has a scratch in our heads going, how are we here again? Or did he see what we've seen? And is he going to think that, for whatever reason, the team was more balanced today? This is why I'm yet, as I said, still not convinced on the manager. But again, today's a nice little start. As a United fan, the way Vert's changes speed is scary. He's so good, Callum. He's so good. The amount of people I've had trying to write him off, mate, when, like yourself, you take a look at him, you can tell within a few touches what the kid's about. He'll settle into the Premier League, and ultimately, I think he's going to be an incredible signing for us. Isak, on scoring his first Premier League goal for Liverpool, said, I'm aware that it's been a long time coming and I've been trying to get back to my best form. I'm still on the way, but I'm happy to get that goal. The best feeling today is that we win the game, and that's the best way to get good spirit in this group. But of course, I'm a striker, so scoring goals will always help me. We have to use this win in a good way, but also be humble. We have to stay focused and keep working hard to keep this momentum. Spot on. Spot on. It's it's one step, but one nice little step in the right direction. He said, Judah said, Craig, looking forward to your player ratings. Yeah, I've been kind of thinking them here in my head as we're going through, kind of working out what I'm thinking. Craig, who runs the most? Do you have those statistics? I don't have them in front of me, but I'm sure we can find those statistics for you. If I don't have them by now, I'll have them for you for the late night agenda at 8:30. But I will adhere to find those stats for you, mate, because I'm interested in that as well. Cal said, Craig, I'd take winning the next 30 games. How many games/wins do you think Arna needs to be out of trouble for me solidly in the top 4 in Champions League progress? To be out of trouble? If he wins the next 2 after this, for me, that's out of trouble territory. If you put 3 wins on the bounce together, that's out of trouble. I think that buys him a lot more time. I'm not saying you have to agree. I'm not saying people, still think that the manager's under pressure. That's, fair enough. But for me, if he wins on Wednesday and he backs that up with a win against Leeds, then we've got a Champions League game, I think, coming up as well. We'll take that. These are steps in the right direction. The league is so compressed at the minute that if you do string together a run of 3 or 4 wins, you'll fly up that league table. But it's about confidence now. It's about building on this. And we will be challenged. We will have a moment or two in weeks coming up where, it won't go our way. And it's how they respond to that I'm interested to see. Chris Thorne said, the relief of a win. Still concerned about the lack of intensity from the team because Sunderland have plenty of it. Yeah, Sunderland are certainly going to make us work hard. No denying that. And they had a very good comeback win this weekend as well. So, yeah, they're going to be coming confident. They're well and truly settled into the Prem at this point. But, again, being respectful, it's at home against a promoted team. We should be able to take care of business there if we play well. What about the ref, Craig? Thought he was atrocious and Flo was outstanding. Premier League refs just aren't very good, Deke, excuse me. And that one today was weak. This referee I've watched on a few occasions, and he's not shy about getting cards out when players are talking back to him. And he feels like he's got an inferiority complex to some extent. I still can't believe Paqueta was so stupid to talk himself into both of those cards. He absolutely shafted his team there. West Ham fans should be fuming at him for that. Joseph said, Kirkes looked good, think he's starting to settle. He looked better. I want to read you through that one piece of journalistic work that came out today from Sam Wallace of The Telegraph. And Sam writes, the chief complaint from within the squad seems to be that Andy Robertson has lost his place to Milos Kerkez, with the latter yet to demonstrate that he's an adequate replacement. Today was a step in the right direction for Milos, but I do think, as somebody said, the positioning of Cody Gakpo gave him the ability to get around the outside more. The last time we were playing with these two on the pitch, a lot of the time they were in each other's space, both of them attacking the half space. Today, Cody seemed to sit more on that inside channel, giving Kerkez the ability to get up around the outside. Arne Slot now on Alexander Isak's first Premier League goal for Liverpool. He said, yep, I think it does feel significant. I wasn't planning to give him many more minutes before bringing him off. And again, I'm sure he was brought off because he's managing the load on the player. Also from Arne Slot, he said, what I saw meant a lot to our players and our fans. The fans had to travel a long way to support a team that has been performing poorly. On Wednesday, we face Sunderland. It's a very busy schedule for everyone. This is a good first step for us that we won and it had a clean sheet. Again, can't really disagree with what the manager's saying there. World of Naturalist said, what if Slot wins the next three but starts losing again after that? Unfortunately, my faith in him is really shaken and can't trust him to do the right thing. Once he starts to win, he'll go back to old ways. That's his test as well, World of Naturalist. Yeah, look, if he wins the next three, loses a game, it's important that the next game after that isn't a negative result, because 2 negative results in a row now, this is where he's at. For the rest of this season, whatever happens, if he gets a couple of negative results in a row, the pressure's going to come back on again. The team and him have brought this scrutiny on. It's not invented. It's not unwarranted. So right now, be happy. Hope he can pick them together. It's no crime losing a game of football in the Premier League. It's how we've been losing the games that I think has frustrated so many of us. 3-0, 3-0, 4-1. That's not acceptable. To be played off the park and to look so feeble like that isn't acceptable. Losing a game of football 2-1 where, keepers had a worldie or something, shit happens. So, hopefully this is a step and we start to trend in the right direction. How does Slot's body language look after the win? I haven't seen him yet. I'm just reading the transcripts that are sent to me. I haven't physically seen him being interviewed yet. Gerard Kelly said, maybe now that Slot had the balls to leave out Mo pushes him through a barrier he was struggling with. Well, that Mo hasn't got that much longer now until he'll be meeting up with the Egyptian national team. I think they're looking at somewhere around the 13th of December. So, not that long, in all honesty. So, if I'm to guess, I would guess Mo's back in that team on Wednesday night. But again, that's on Arne. If he comes back in and we win and Mo does well, cool. No problems with that either. If he comes back in and we still look sluggish, then the manager has to make the decision about will he bring him off, or is there other things that he could do to find a better balance. Again, this is the manager's job. All we can do as fans is react to what we see. Will this one change fans' opinions on Slot being replaced? It shouldn't. No, I don't think it will. It's a win, and a win should always be appreciated. But, as many have said, you do have to take the level of the opposition into account. And West Ham are not in great form this season. And in years gone by, we've come here and beaten them by 5. So, today is just a bit of relief. That's the way I look at it. Now we need to build on this going forward. If he goes and loses on Wednesday, pressure straight back on his shoulders again. It's up to him now. But this, don't ever feel bad about being happy at a win. Also, from Arna, he said, a win, that was what we mainly needed, and we got a clean sheet as well, which is always helpful. Not giving anything away to the other team as a gift, and we have done too many times this season. The other team hardly created a chance except in the final minute. Do you know what? I'm wondering. Now, hear me out. I'm wondering, is it almost a bit of good news for us that Madrid came out and told Liverpool they don't want Canade? I'm wondering, has that now settled his head back down to think, right, well, that moves out the window. That ain't happening. Maybe now he's going to appreciate what he has here. Because he looked, as did Virgil, way more switched on today. Way more sure of what they were doing. Way more assured is probably the word I'm looking for. Chris Thorne said, for sure we're at home against Sunderland, but when you have lost at Anfield twice to teams you should be, you can understand I'm still a bit edgy. Have a good weekend. Mate, I'm edgy as well, Chris. Don't get me wrong, dude. I don't think that this is us back in the, the good ship, piss the league. No, but it's a start. It's a small step. And I'm grateful for small mercies at this point, Chris. Arne Slot on Isak. He said he's a top striker. The finish was very good. I kept him in just long enough for him to get a goal for the team and himself. On dropping Mohamed Salah, he said we play a lot of games. In 10 days we played 4. These players are such quality players. Mo has been so important for the club and will be so important for the club. So let's see what happens on Wednesday against Sunderland. Am I watching Chelsea? I'll probably get a chance to watch the second half. I'll be doing obviously the rest of this, and then I'll be doing the player ratings video. But I will I'll watch the second half. Excuse me, and then I'll watch it on Match of the Day tonight. Right, let's check the poll. Over 6,600 votes so far. We're asking you to vote for your Anfield Agenda man of the match. The options are Joe Gomez, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz, and Alexander Isak. Right. Let's also remind you that if you want to submit your player ratings, all you need to do is join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. Scan that QR code there on the screen or the one in the bottom right hand corner when we're on our main screen, and that will bring you into the WhatsApp. Good start to the week. Hopefully this continues. It's a bit too early to say, is today's game slightly changed your opinion on Slot's future? No, not yet. It's the start of it. We win these 3 games in a row. Absolutely, I will think, okay, it's turning a corner. But there's a long way to go. Because it took a long time for me to get to the manager, wanting the manager out. So it's going to take a while for me to be won back around. And look, I can only speak for me. I'm not trying to tell everybody else how to feel. But this has certainly stopped the rot. So it takes a bit of pressure off the manager. Now, we've got to build on this and show that we're learning lessons. We are figuring it out. That relationships are building around the pitch, and that the players are getting used to the system. If we can do all of that and signs are looking good, then happy days. We'll all be happy. I will ask you in tonight's late night agenda, on a longer time, when we've got a longer time to run the poll, if it's changed your opinion or not on the situation. We'll talk about that at 8:30 tonight when we've got a bit more time to go more in depth on it. Great thoughts on the Canade situation. My thoughts exactly, said Kaz. Look, I hope it's the case, Kaz, because nobody wants to be calling out anybody's performances. But, today, the whole back 5, all of them, were far more solid. The Monty without Salah should be a blessing to give to, or the month without Salah, I think you mean, should be a blessing to give the other players a chance to gel. Jason McKenna said, I agree, Wirtz, world beater, but lay off Mo. He's been there, done that. I'm not laying off anybody. Or sorry, mate, that sounded wrong. What I meant to say, I'm not going in on anybody. I'm only answering and talking about comments that people are saying. People are talking about Manal not being in the team and we won. But look, be honest about it. We look more balanced, right? It's okay to say that. Look, I say this all the time. Mo's place in our legacy is secure. What I don't want to happen is us to see an inferior version of Mo dragged out over the next 18 months that sullies or waters down his legacy. I don't want that to happen because of that legacy. That's what I'm saying here. For me, I would rather we move towards the future, look to the future. If Mo can come in and contribute positively, happy days. We all want that. But ultimately, I do think looking to the Isaks, the Ekatikes, the Wirtz, That's the future of this team for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And we've got to start building towards that. Played the low block after we scored. It's like they say, if you can't beat them, join them. Yeah, and there was one moment in that second half that summed everything up to me about keeping things tight. We were on a counter-attack and Dominic Szoboszlai got the ball right-hand side. He could have kept driving forward. There was like a 3-on-3 or something. But he checked back inside to make sure that we kept possession and that he slowed it down. These small little things are the difference between giving a stupid ball away in midfield that could see us countered and seeing out this game. And those little decisions like that from Szoboszlai and a few others did help us see out that game. Super impressed with Joe, though. For somebody that's been out of the starting team for so long, super impressed with how good he looked. No, like Eli say, win at West Ham is a layup. It's not just like Palace. It's not we just won at Palace like United did. Look, granted, it's a layup or whatever. But so was Forest at home. So was PSV Eindhoven. They're games we should be winning. But we didn't. But we did win today. So again, no one's trying to get carried away and say this team are going to go win the double now, the Champions League and the FA Cup. But look, we can surely acknowledge a win when we get it and smile about it. Vert's really showing why he's the future, said Joseph. PC White said Gomez was brilliant today. I'm so pleased for him. That meme guy said Gomez played good but very risky to play all our centre-backs in the game. Yeah, totally get that. But look, you know, the manager is in risky territory, right? So he probably has to take that risk. You know, but you're right. One injury there and we're screwed. But you know, needs must and all that, and he took the risk. Why isn't Gakpo in the poll? Because he wasn't in the top 4 ratings. That's why. That's how these polls work for us. We go through a mixture of average scores from a few different platforms and our own platform, and that's where the top 4 comes from. So if you're angry at anybody, be angry at the people that voted on performances, because it's really that simple for us. We look at all the average scores and put the top 4 in. Using Joe gives us more balance and hopefully the rest will do Salah some good. Hopefully we'll get some defensive cover in January. Gerard Kelly said 100% correct. Salah is a club icon. Everybody has to move aside. This is Mo's time. Wirtz is going to be the next club icon for sure. Yo-Yo said Gakpo covers the rest of the forwards. Don't even cover the back line. Derek said, to be honest, Joe had a very good game today. Glad to see him playing well. World of Naturalist said, just can't get why we can't criticise Mo. He's a legend, yes, but what we've been doing so far this season is simply invisible. If it cuts both ways. Do well, get applauded. Do badly, get criticised. Look, today should be about the lads that won the game. The lads that were there. The lads that did play. The lads that won the game. Let's give them their flowers rather than look towards, somebody who wasn't on the pitch today. We applauded Salah when he's good and criticise him when he's bad. Fair is fair, said Awar. Love Joe Gomez. True servant to the club, said Mulak. Conor Bradley can never stay healthy, sadly, and Jury is still out in Frimpong. Joe has to start until he gets injured. Yeah, look, it's fair, on the right-hand side. Fair critiquing of Conor Bradley. I dare say if you spoke to, many Liverpool fans, we'd all say Bradley's a very good player, but he hasn't been able to play multiple games a week and not pick up a knock. Don't really know about Frimpong's longevity because I don't know what his injury record is like before he came to Liverpool. But look, today I just wanted us to be able to smile together, and enjoy this because it's been a while, right? It's been a while. Now that Real Madrid win feels a long time ago. Right, let's keep going. Let's just hope they don't go back to PSV form. I want us to go back to that dominant goal scoring form from Klopp's time, said Joe Dan. And Nick Safina said Joe should play as much as possible. Team today was picked on merit, said Paul, so much better. Craig, would you start Salah Wednesday? Do you know what? I might with Gomez there. Because as much as we're talking about how good we look today, a big part of that for me was having a natural defender at right back. So I would say, my opinion, that with Salah on there today, because Joe was at right back, we probably still would have looked a bit more solid than we had done recently. It's hard to know how much of that is down to just Joe or how much of it is down to Joe and, the attacking three in general. It'll be an interesting one. I would almost bet my life that he does play him on Wednesday. And hopefully if he does, he keeps Joe Gomez there, because at least if Mo plays Wednesday and Joe's at right back, at least we have a comparable then. We can look at the performance today and then we can look at the one on Wednesday and see how it compares. Liverpool awful again, tough season ahead. Motherfucker, we won the game. So be awful as much as we want. If we can be awful and win the next fucking 15 games, I don't care as long as we win the games. So, yeah. You let us worry about our form. And I don't know who you support. I think it's United. For the love of God, mate, you've got a lot more to be worried about than we do. That much I promise you. Right, so, man of the match. Well, let's end this poll. We asked you, who's your man of the match? Joe Gomez, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz, or Alexander Isak? With 55% of the vote, Florian Wirtz is your Anfield Agenda man of the match. Joe Gomez in second place with 26% of the vote. Thank you so much to everybody that did take the time to vote. We really appreciate it. I wouldn't start Salah away at Sunderland. We're at home, Martin, on Wednesday, mate. We're at home against Sunderland. And we're away against Leeds then at 5:30, I think, on the Saturday. Is this just a one-off or is this the start of our comeback? I don't think anybody can know for sure. I don't think anyone can know for sure. We'll find out over the next week or so. We've 2 games coming up. Let's see where we go from here. Hopefully we can kick on. But it is just one win today. Let's not lose the run of ourselves, but never feel bad about being happy when we win. Would they rather Arsenal or Chelsea win the league? Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. But I don't mind. Like, whoever wins the league wins the league. And they deserve the credit for winning the league. The only one I won't credit is Man City. For, the reasons I've been saying for years. I think they're cheats. And I'm fed up waiting around for these charges to be sorted out. But if Arsenal win it, fair play. If Chelsea win it, fair play. You don't win the league by accident. You win it because you deserve to win it. That's why I was so annoyed when people tried to undermine our league title wins. We were the best team in the league. It's not our fault if everybody else isn't doing the best. It's not our problem. We looked way stronger down the right with Gomez and without Salah. Arna finally grew a pair and did what needed to be done, said Maddie. And thank you, Maddie. Wirtz played so well, said Harold. Realistically, what if we don't get Champions League? Could cause us a few problems in terms of signings such as Gay. Yeah, of course it would. There's no denying, mate. If we don't get Champions League, that's a huge financial setback. But let's look at the league table right now and see, we aren't too far away from these places now. So let's have a look at it. We're now 8th. We are 3 points off a Champions League spot. So, pick up another win if we can on Wednesday and we ain't a million miles away then. We'll be closing that gap bit by bit. But we've got to back this up today. We can't go then and put in a shit performance on Wednesday. Today has to be the start of something. George said back to basics performance. Looked a lot more defensively solid with Joe at right back. Wirtz should continue to start at right wing. Good overall. Hope you're well. Yeah, happy, George, mate. Happy. Relieved probably is another word I'd use. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go record the player ratings video. If you haven't already submitted your player ratings, you can do so by joining the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. Scan that QR code on the screen right there. That will bring you in. You've probably got about 10 minutes left to submit your ratings before I get to recording. And again, I will be back here tonight at 8:30 for the late night agenda, where we'll go through it in more detail. We'll talk about the situation for Wednesday. We'll ask you your opinion on Slot moving forward and lots more. Christian, Mano, thank you, bro, for joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. Really appreciate your support. So look, have a good one, folks. It's okay to smile. Be happy. It's all good. We'll see you tonight at 8:30 for the late night agenda. Appreciate your support as always.